Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.
Foundation security clearance granted to person represents the highest level or type of information to which they can be granted access. However, having any given clearance level does not automatically grant access to all information at that level. Personnel are only granted access to information on a need-to-know basis and at the discretion of the designated disclosure officers overseeing their respective departments. Level 0 for official uses only. Level 0 security clearance are given to non-essential personnel with no need to access information regarding anomalous objects or entities in Foundation containment. Level 0 access is typically held by personnel in non-secure cleric, logistics or janitorial positions at the facilities with no access to operational data. Level 1 confidential. Level 1 security clearance are given to personnel working in proximity to but with no direct, indirect or informational access to anomalous objects or entities in containment. Level 1 security clearance are typically granted to personnel working in the cleric, logistics or janitorial positions at the facility with containment capabilities or otherwise must handle sensitive data and information. Level 2 restrictive. Level 2 security clearance are given to security and research personnel that require direct access to information regarding anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most research staff, field agents and containment specialists hold a Level 2 security clearance. Level 3 secret. Level 3 security clearance are given to senior security and research personnel that require in-depth data regarding the source, recovery circumstances, and long-term planning for anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most senior research staff, project managers, security officers, response teams, and mobile task force operate hold a Level 3 security clearance. Level 4 top secret. Level 4 security clearance are given to senior administration that require access to site-wide and or regional intelligence, as well as long-term logistics data regarding Foundation operations and research projects. Level 4 security clearance are typically only held by site directives, security directives, or mobile task force commanders. Level 5. Level 5 security clearance are given to the highest ranking administrations. Personnel with the Foundation and grant efficiently unlimited access to all strategies and otherwise sensitive data. Level 5 security clearance are typically only granted to O5 Council members. Personnel classification. Classifications are assigned to personnel based on their proximity to potential dangerous anomalies, objects, entities, or phenomenons. Class A. Class A's personnel are those deemed essential to Foundation's strategic operations and are not allowed direct access to anomalies under any circumstance. Circumstances require Class A personnel to be in direct proximity to such anomalies, such as in the case of facilities housed in containment unit. Class A personnel are not access to the areas of the facility containing such anomalies and are to be kept in secured areas at all times. In the case of an emergency, Class A personnel are to be immediately evacuated to a designated and secure off-site location. O5 Council members are always Class A personnel. Class B. Class B personnel are those deemed essential to locate local Foundation operations and may be granted access to objects, entities, and anomalies that have passed quarantine and have been cleared of any potential mind-affecting effects from mimicked agents. In the event of a contamination breach or hostile action against a Foundation's facility, Class B personnel are to be evacuated to a designated secure off-site location as soon as possible. Class C personnel are personnel with direct access to most anomalies, not deemed strictly hostile or dangerous. Class C personnel that have had direct contact with potential mind-affecting or mimetic properties may be subject to mandatory quarantine and psychiatric evaluation as deemed necessary by security personnel. In the event of a contamination breach or hostile action against a Foundation's facility, non-combatants Class C personnel are to either report to secure lockdown area or evacuated at the discreet on an on-site secure personnel in the case of a side-wide breach or other catastrophic event. Class D personnel are expendable personnel used to handle extremely hazardous anomalies and are not to come into contact with Class A or Class B personnel. Class D personnel are typically drawn worldwide from the ranks of prisons imminent, well convicted of violent crimes, especially those on death row. Enacted in times of duress, Protocol 12 may be enacted, which allows recruitment from other sources, such as political prisoners, refugee population, and other civilian sources. They can be transferred into Foundation custody under plausible deniable circumstance. Class D personnel are to be given regular mandatory psychiatric evaluation and are to be administered an anesthetic of at least Class B strength or terminated at the end of the month at the discretion of an on-site security or medical staff. In the event of a historic site event, Class D personnel are to be terminated immediately, except as deemed necessary by on-site security personnel. Class E. Class E is a provisional classification applied to field agents and contamination personnel that have been exposed to potential dangerous effects during the course of securing, establishing intentional contamination over a newly designated anomalous object or entity or phenomenon. Class E personnel are to be quarantined as soon as possible, monitored and screened for potential harmful changes in behavior, personality, or psychology, and may only return to duty after fully being debriefed and cleared by psychiatric and medical staff. Staff titles. They are generally occupation or titles that are typically used in the Foundation. Site staff. Contamination specialist. Contamination specialists have two main roles at the Foundation facility. Firstly, contamination teams are called upon to respond to confirmed cases of anomalous activity, secure and establish potential contamination over anomalous objects, entities, or phenomenons, and transport themselves to the nearest Foundation contamination site. In addition, Foundation contamination engineers and technicians are called upon to devise, refine, and maintain contamination units and scheme for objects, entities, and phenomena in Foundation facilities. Researchers. Researchers are the scientific off-branch of the Foundation, drawn from the ranks of the smartest and best-trained research scientists from around the world, the specialists in every field imaginable. from chemistry to bonding to esoteric or specialist fields in theoretic physics or exonobiology. The goal of the Foundation research project is to gain a better understanding of unexplained anomalies and how they operate. Security officers. On-site security officers, often referred to simply as guards at Foundation facilities, are tasked with maintaining physical and information security, Foundation's projects, operations, and personnel, primarily drawn and recruited from military, law enforcement, and correctional facility personnel. Security officers are trained in the use of all types of weapons, as well as a variety of contingency plans covering both contamination breach incidents as well as hostile actions. These personnel are also responsible for information security, such as making sure that sensitive documents are not misplaced and that the facility computer system and are safe from outside intrusion. They are often the first line of defense against hostile outside forces for the Foundation's facility. Tactical Response Officer. Response teams or tactical teams are highly trained and heavy armed combat teams tasked with escorting contamination teams when dangerous anomalous entities or hostile groups of interest are involved and defending Foundation's facilities against hostile action. Response teams are efficiently military units stationed at major Foundation's facilities that are ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Field personnel. Field agents. Field agents are the eyes and ears of the Foundation. Personnel is trained to look for and investigate the signs of anomalous objects, often undercover with local or regional law enforcement or embedded in the local services as an emergency medical service and regulatorial organization. As undercover units, field agents are typically not equipped to deal with confirmed cases of anomalous activity. Once such an incident has been well confirmed, isolated, field agents will typically call for assistance and from the nearest field contamination team would, if the means safely secure, contain such anomalies. Mobile task operators. Mobile task force are specialist units comprised of veteran field personnel drawn from all over the Foundation. These tasks are mobilized to deal with threats of a specific nature and can include anything from field researchers, specialists in a particular type of anomaly, to heavy armed combat units tasked to secure certain types of hostile anomalous entities. Administration. Site directors. Site directors for major Foundation facilities are the highest ranking personnel at the location and are responsible for the continued safely operation of the site and of all its contained anomalies and projects. All major departments reports directly to the site director, who in turn reports to the O5 Council. O5 Council members. The O5 Council is referred to the committee consisting of the highest ranking directors of the Foundation, who have complete access to all information regarding anomalies and contamination. The O5 Council oversees all Foundation's operations worldwide and it directs its long-term strategic plans. Due to the sensitivity of their position, O5 members must not come into direct contact with anomalous objects, entities, or phenomenons. Furthermore, the identities of all O5 council members is classified. All council members are referred to only by the numeric designation O51 through to O513.